A high conflict co parenting relationship is one in which the two of you just don't communicate well. Either you don't communicate at all, where text messages or calls, attempts to communicate just aren't responded to, or if they are responded to, they're responded to with saying things that aren't very nice, that are maybe just trying to pick a fight, or instead of genuinely trying to communicate with the other person, is meant to anger or just be hurtful. That would be very high conflict. Otherwise, persistent violations of a court order defines a high conflict co parenting relationship. Speaking negatively about the other parent to the kids, or and attempting to undermine the other parent's relationship with the kids. Those are just a few examples of a high conflict co-parenting relationship. If you're in a high conflict co-parenting relationship, you're probably going to know that, because communication with that parent and co-parenting with that parent is not easy. Some legal tools that are available to manage a high conflict co-parenting relationship is the court order itself. If you have a high conflict relationship, it is really important that you get as detailed of a court order as possible that lays out the rules for your co parenting relationship as clear as possible. So that way, if there is a conflict and you have a hard time reaching a decision, then you can go to the court order and the court order will tell you what to do. If you're in a high conflict parenting relationship, I highly recommend that you only communicate with that other parent in writing. You can use either text message, or there's an app called Our Family Wizard that is a very good co parenting app. And the nice thing about Our Family Wizard is those messages cannot be deleted or changed once posted. When dealing with a high conflict co parent, you should do your best to document every interaction with that co parent as best as you can. I recommend that you keep a journal with different interactions that you've had with that co-parent. And then that way, when it comes to going to court or even just remembering what happened, then you have something that you can refer to. I also recommend that you only communicate with that co-parent in writing, whether through text message or using an app called Our Family Wizard. You should return to court over co-parenting issues if attempts to resolve those co-parenting issues between the two of you just aren't working. You should always try to work things out with your co-parent on your own outside of the court process when possible. But if repeated attempts to communicate and work things out with the co-parent just don't work, then that's when it's time to return to court and get the court involved.